moment all of Shah Rukh Khan fans have been waiting for is here. After 4 years, he's back in a leading role in Pathaan and is looking to change his recent track record. But the success as far as advance booking records go for Pathaan is not just a story for Shah Rukh Khan or a win for him. It's something that Bollywood is hanging on to. The fortunes of the Indian film industry and specifically the Hindi film industry have not been too great in the last year or so. 2022 was a tough year for the big Bollywood blockbuster. But from the initial reports, Pathaan seems to be the movie to change the tide. Is that the case? To speak on this, I'm joined now by Ravi Rai, writer, producer and director. Tamanna Inamdar, film critic, is with me on the show. And I'm also speaking with Kamal Gyanchandani, president of the Multiplex Association of India. Kamal, let me begin with your take on what we are seeing so far, because right now, it's reports of great advance bookings, superb footfall in day one, additional screens by Yash Raj Films. Are you seeing all of that playing out? Can you give us some perspective of how the movie seems to be faring on day one?
Well, the advances were extremely strong, and the entire day today, which is the first day of the release, has turned out to be a massive success at the box office. We've been running pretty much all multiplexes have been running at near full occupancies. What's also good news is that the single screens, which have been devoid of commercial films for a fairly long period of time, they have also been doing great occupancies. So this is a big win for exhibition circuit. This is a big, massive win for Hindi film industry. We are absolutely delighted with the results. Just to put this in context, the advances, as you know, were record-breaking. The film started with till today morning when the advances close. The total advance was close to about 25 to 30 crores. The way things have panned out throughout the day, I think it's safe to assume that the net box office collection would be somewhere in mid-50s. And once we get the exact number, we'll have a validation. But if this number turns out to be 55 or thereabout, this would be the highest that any film has done on its first day.
So a first day of 50-55 crores is definitely huge. But, Kamal Gyanchandani, the question is that will the movie live up to the initial sort of excitement? We're going into a big weekend, and that's the number that we need to see. What would be your parameter to know that this is a runaway hit, and put that in context of the kind of performance we've seen from big blockbusters all of last year, and why you think this one stands apart?
I saw the film first in one of the early morning shows today, and the kind of excitement, the engagement level I saw within the audiences, it was a near full show in the morning. The level of excitement that I saw today is something which I have not seen for a fairly long time. And I've been in this business for a very long period of time. So from drawing on my experience, I could tell that the audiences are connecting with the film. The audiences are connecting with Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. There was this pent-up, appetite to watch him on the big screen. This is one of those films which has something for everyone. This is your quintessential potboiler blockbuster potential film, which targets every segment of the audience, whether it's male, female, above 25, below 25. And the story is working. It's a desi story, but with stylized action, with production values which are absolutely international standards. And the story works, and which is the reason I feel, and also when you look at the trend of advances for tomorrow, day after, the kind of word of mouth which is flowing around, the reviews that we've got from experienced critics like Taranji, who's also on the call, all of these factors are pointing towards a film which will have a very long run at the box office. So that's my source of confidence. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some record-breaking numbers.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get to Taran Adarsh for his view on what the movie is like. Taran, first of all, great to have you on the show. Fantastic to speak with you today on such a huge release. And I've been following all your constant updates on the kind of business it's been doing. What is setting it apart from all of the other big star, big movies, which didn't really manage to, sizzle at the box office? What do you think is the difference over here?
Well, first and foremost, Shah Rukh Khan. He returns to the big screen after 4 years, as you know, after Zero, which released in December 2018. And now it's coming, this movie is coming in 23 Jan. So now it's been a long gap. People were waiting to watch Shah Rukh Khan. Now, in most of the films that you've seen Shah Rukh Khan, he's played the romantic hero running around trees, singing songs. But here, of course, there's a song in the movie. But then, there is, from start to end, a lot of action happening. And that is one of the high points of the film. Very stylized action, very international scale movie. And, this film has everything to go to who the mass is. I think that's one of the reasons why people, when they saw the trailers, when they saw the song and the teaser, of course, when I guess they assume that it's going to be a larger than life experience, which it is. And that's the reason why this film is drawing audiences in hordes. I mean, we all saw the advance booking that, in fact, Kamalji very rightly pointed out, it was historic. The advance booking numbers were historic, and going forward, the advance booking numbers for the next few days are also going to be superb. So, and today, when in fact, I went to for a morning show, early morning show at 7 a.m. at PVR Icon and Lokhandwala Complex, and believe me when I say this, that was a last-minute show because prior to that, there was supposed to be an 8 a.m. show, but they started a 7 a.m. show. They decided to have a 7 a.m. show yesterday. And believe me when I say this, it was packed, almost packed. And people were clapping, cheering for the actors, for the songs, for Shah Rukh Khan's entry, for Salman Khan's introduction in the second half, for the finale. I mean, it was more of a celebration in the theater that you could see. People were really enjoying after a long time. And I think that's why this film is going to, this film has legs. So it's going to run for the next few days, of course.
So Taran Adarsh, without, of course, giving away any spoilers, is this a Paisa Vasool movie for people who want to watch it over the next few days?
Absolutely. Paisa Vasool and more. I mean, please go and book your tickets right now. Watch this film. You'll really enjoy it. Because, when we talk of larger-than-life entertainers, this is one of those films. And well-made entertainers. Because I genuinely feel that was lacking in our movies in the recent past. Yeah. Unfortunately, most of our filmmakers, if you see the trend in the earlier years also, were making films that were targeting the Bandra to Warsaw audience, which was shocking. What will the pan-India audience do? So, if you see the numbers of box office numbers of KGF2, Pushpa, or Kantara, or RRR, you'll notice that people were lapping up these films because of the larger-than-life experience that they were watching. The pan-India appealed for those films. And now this film has that appeal. I think this film is unstoppable at the box office. Today is a working day. Tamanna, I repeat, today is a working day. It's a Wednesday, midweek release, no festival. And despite that, it's going to, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I could be wrong, it is going to touch 55 to 56 crores, maybe slightly less, slightly more. But that's the range that we are looking at, which is phenomenal. And tomorrow being 26 January, Republic Day, picture abhi baki.
That's crazy. I mean, people packing up theaters at 7 a.m. on a Wednesday morning to watch a movie is something else. Ravi Rai, is this the redemption that Bollywood was looking for? You and I have had this conversation over the last few months. Is this the turning point which brings back the faith? Because Bollywood has had its share of being completely, drummed down. Bad writing, actors charging too much, sad, tired plots. And then this movie comes. I mean, I don't know. People will have to judge for themselves whether they like it or not. But it seems to have broken that jinx.
Yes, it has, Tamanna, it has. And not only Pathaan. I mean, before Pathaan also, very slowly and gradually, we could see Drishyam doing good, War did very good, and we saw Brahmastra doing a 430 crores worldwide. So slowly and gradually, after a long bashing by everybody, and we not faring very well for the reasons that we were responsible for them. But I personally feel, yes, Pathaan has finally consolidated. I mean, what Taran said, and I have nothing more to add to it, but it's a huge cylinder of oxygen that Pathaan gives us, and we all, end of the day, Tamanna, we are an industry. It hurts when people say boycott. I mean, why would you boycott an industry? I mean, why would any industry be boycotted? And then not only I'm saying the boycott or the cancel culture, we are passing through it. We are still passing through it, and I'm sure the coming films would. But Pathaan, it's a humongous opening, and I'm sure, like he said, Taran said, today is a working day. Tomorrow happens to be a holiday, and it's a long weekend. And honestly, we wish the film to do very good. Now it's our time to say, "Hey, beta, ye mera adda." You know, Taran, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we've been quiet for a very long time. Even after Brahmastra doing 430 crores, we were very quiet about it.
No, but Ravi Rai, you've touched an important point, and I just want to get everyone's views. I'll start with Kamal, because I know he's waiting to catch a flight and he's given us time. I really appreciate that, Kamal. But on this whole boycott situation, and Pathaan faced flack from the word go, from that first clip, the color of the clothes, censor wants to cut X, Y, Z. Even today, there have been protests in a few places and people saying, don't watch the movie. But the audience seems to have spoken and has brushed it aside. That's a big message there as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I don't intend to condone the negative chatter on social platforms. But the fact remains that in a counterintuitive manner, the negative chatter on social platforms has also created some element of sympathy for the film business, also for Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. And there is that small element which is also reflecting in the box office collections, this sympathy factor that I spoke about. So in this case, this negative chatter, the boycott culture, whatever you want to call it, has actually helped the film. But, if I was to step back, definitely, I mean, this sort of a culture is totally unwarranted. And I think the audiences, the genuine moviegoers are seeing through it. They can see there is no authenticity. It is definitely agenda driven, and this is all manufactured controversy. And clearly the audiences have spoken. They have ignored this chatter and they have supported the film in a big way, which is a big positive for the film business.
So a fitting reply to the boycott brigade, Taran Adarsh, that is going to give some solace, I think, to the industry as well, who perhaps is now, questioning itself whenever it puts something out.
I completely endorse what Kamalji just mentioned. And I'd just like to add here, that good, bad, whatever, the film was in the news, but it was in the news that's more important. Two, never, ever underestimate our audience, because they know what to watch and what to ignore, and you can't really trust your ideas on them and tell them that you have to watch this and you don't have to watch this. No, I think the audience is very sharp. They always were very sharp, and even today they are very sharp. Two, most importantly, content is king. The content speaks for itself. In this case, in the case of Pathaan, the content is speaking louder than words. And if the content is king, audiences are the kingmakers. And they have decided to crown this film with glory, with box office collections, with a stupendous opening at the box office. What else do you want? I mean, the film industry, which faced severe drought of hits in 2022, it was a disastrous year for the Hindi film industry, is back on track. There's confidence, there's optimism, there's positivity in the film industry. When I spoke to a couple of producers, they were so euphoric. A film, if it works at the box office, if Pathaan works, it just does not benefit Shah Rukh Khan or Yash Raj films. It benefits the entire chain. It benefits the entire industry. The directors, the actors, the technicians, the workers, everyone, the livelihood depends on a film and the forthcoming film. So keeping that in mind, this film is like a breath of fresh air. I mean,
But
it's a
just
very
right,
yeah.
just to sound a note of, I would say, reality check. Just because Pathaan is doing well or will do well, we'll have to wait and see what the final numbers are. Doesn't mean all Hindi movies or Bollywood movies will do well. They will have to, each will have to prove themselves on their own mettle. I think one takeaway, Ravi Rai, is that the audience has become very discerning. It doesn't matter if it's a pan-Indian movie, it's a Hindi movie, or whatever kind of movie. If it's good content, they will watch. And word of mouth has become more important than ever before. Your glitzy marketing campaigns are not going to do the trick.
You see, Tamanna, like earlier also, a number of times I have said the boycott or the cancel culture doesn't work. It's a myth. It's a huge myth. Looking at films like Padmavat or when Amir was at the peak of his hatred, I mean, people were trolling him. I mean, his PK and Dangal did humongous. I mean, 800 crores and 1200 crores they did. I mean, look, very recently, Ranbir Kapoor and Alia and Brahmastra did whatever business. So boycott culture for me doesn't work. Look at Kashmir Files doing so big, an 18 crore film. So you think Kashmir Files wasn't trolled? It was. And I mean, it is always the content. I mean, few people on a few lakhs on Twitter cannot decide a government or decide a stardom or decide a film. They cannot. I mean, a film needs a good content, a government needs a good governance. As long as they deliver a good content and good governance, I mean, Twitter cannot do anything about them. No boycott culture or no. So we need to, cater as much as good. And the most important thing, Tamanna, that I would want to say about Pathaan here is कि a director, more than a star, or a director always has a promise to his audience, to his people, which people trust him, and that promise is a very, very big commitment that a director makes. And if you look at Siddharth Anand, right from the first film that he wrote, Hum Tum, to the films he directed, to his last film, War, the guy is such a slick filmmaker, and he is, his technique is so, I mean, Pathaan, you cannot take away. The people have seen the trailer of the film. The trailer of the film is so inviting. That is what is the initial to the film. I mean, it is no sympathy or anything. It's a whole huge package that a film, gives you, offers to you. And I think Siddharth Anand has a big hand in making this film,
We'll take the win. It's a big win for the industry. So,
yes.
We'll wait and see how that pans out. And some sort of lesson in there that just random trolling on social media is not going to bring down the effort that so many people
won't.
make. The audiences are discerning and they know what they want to spend their money on in this day and age. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on the discussion. But before we wrap up, we're going to just play out some voices of viewers coming out from watching that movie and what they have responded to Pathaan.
मूवीज़ अच्छे से देख सकते हैं, हम सेलिब्रेट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि शाहरुख खान की मूवी जब आती है वो फेस्टिवल जैसा सेलिब्रेशन होता है, सिर्फ पुणे में ही नहीं बल्कि हर एक जगह पर. तो बहुत अच्छा लगा, टीज़र देखा, ट्रेलर देखा, तो बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त होगी मूवी, ऐसे तो लग रहा है, अभी देखने के बाद ही पता चलेगा. तो हम लोग ने कस्टमाइज रिस्टबैंड्स बनाए हैं पठान के, और हमने कीचेन्स बनाए हैं ट्राई कलर के, क्योंकि कल रिपब्लिक डे है, तो उसके हिसाब से, और सब फैंस एक साथ देखेंगे और केक कटिंग होगा.
अभी हमें तो बेहद खुशी है. फर्स्ट तो 4 साल बाद सर का मूवी आ रहा है और सभी बहुत ही एक्साइटेड है फर्स्ट डे फर्स्ट शो को लेके. बस यही अभी मैं तो सबसे गुजारिश करूँगा कि सभी अपने नज़दीकी सिनेमा घर में जाओ और पठान का मज़ा लीजिए, बिकॉज ये जो मूवी है ये देश के ऊपर है, देशभक्ति के ऊपर है, तो प्लीज़ इसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग देखें.
बहुत 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 एक्साइटेड है. आप लोग देख रहे हो ये सब भीड़, सब लोग आ गए, इतना सारा निगेटिविटी है, इतना सारे लोग उसके बारे में गलत बोल रहे हैं, फिर भी आप लोग ये क्राउड देख सकते हो. इससे समझ में आता है कि पॉजिटिविटी ज़िंदा है, पठान ज़िंदा है, मूवी चलने वाला है. फाड़ू रहने वाली है मूवी, एकदम फाड़ू मूवी रहने वाली है.
ये शाहरुख खान की पठान मूवी का आज की मूवी रिलीज डेट जो है वो न्यूमिस्मेटिक के अंदर है, और मेरे पास शाहरुख खान की सारी मूवीज़ की डेट है और साथ में शाहरुख खान के बर्थडे की सारी डेट है। ये मैं पिछले 5 साल से कर रहा हूँ और शाहरुख खान का फ़ैन मैं पिछले 30 साल से हूँ। तो 1994 से मैं शाहरुख खान का फ़ैन हूँ और ये मेरा क्रेज़ जो है पिछले 5 साल से है। सब अलग अलग तरह के फ़ैन होते हैं, सब अलग अलग अपना पैशन रखते हैं। मैं एक न्यूमिस्मेटिक हूँ तो मुझे करेंसी कलेक्ट करना अच्छा लगता है, तो मैंने उसमें एक यूनिक तरीका ढूंढा ताकि मैं शाहरुख खान को इस तरीके से एक ट्राइब्यूट दे सकूँ।